Footballtribeug channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another broadcast. It's a pleasure to be back with you guys here and for another episode of the Monday morning sports updates. I hope you did have a wonderful weekend. I hope you did enjoy some of those fixtures from the FIFA Club World Cup, including Real Madrid's 3-1 victory against Pachuca, in which they had to play for more than 83 minutes with a manless on the turf following Raul Asensio's red card. But that notwithstanding, they came out triumphant. So quite an impressive style. I must commend them really. Anyways, we'll try to keep this one a bit short. And disclaimer: if I bust out of here in a rush, then it will be out of circumstances beyond my personal control. But anyways, we will see what we can do within the time that we have, because apologies. Yes, so like I said, good to be back. Thank you so much for those that managed to catch our late night episode yesterday. On Sundays, we only do one broadcast usually. That's in the evening hours or / night time to make sure everything is in order. Then maybe. Okay, yes, we'll go straight away into the morning sport update. We'll talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. We'll talk about the transfer gossip. Apparently, then we'll talk about Bayern Munich's interest in an Arsenal star. Manchester United pursuing a goalkeeper from Real Madrid. Does that hold any weight or any water? Can that pursuit be successful? Not that I see it that way, but we can never say never. Can never say never, because it's the transfer window. It does come with all sorts of speculation, both wishful and otherwise. So please do bear with it in the weight within which it comes. Then, so anyways, we'll start with the FIFA Club World Cup, giving you the updates that did transpire, including Manchester City, who are in action in the wee hours of today, leading into this morning, and they managed to beat up against Al Ain by 6-0. So that came quite impressive. Ilkay Gundogan being one of the players with the best on target. Pep Guardiola was speaking about Ilkay Gundogan recently, and he said he is a valuable member of his squad. He's still in his mind. So and that is all amid his talks that he is looking to trim his squad. So, Robert Kesakos is my name. If you're just joining us, please like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Then, secondly, just leave me a like on the broadcast there. But also let me know where you're joining us from this morning. If there's any sport that interests you, if there's anything that interests you, do not hesitate to let me know as well. But like I said, so it was Man City that led all the way through, and right from the 8th minute, and there was no looking back. There was no really looking back. So Pep Guardiola was speaking about Ilkay Gundogan, and he said he's a valuable member of the squad. At a time when they are looking to trim their squad, he did acknowledge just as much that some players will have to leave. Bernardo Silva has been handed the captain's armband. That sort of signals that he could stay, and yet all throughout last season, we had this kind of expectation that he could be one of the players that eventually leaves the club at the right time, or if an opportunity came. And now that he's been handed the captain's armband, we cannot really guarantee that he will be on the move. Nonetheless, anything cannot be ruled out, because when it comes to Man City, they know, we are sure they want to trim off their squad. And among the players that could be looking to exit is Ilkay Gundogan, John Stones, Bernardo Silva, Ederson Moraes, the goalkeeper, Kyle Walker is already on his way out with interest from Fenerbahce as well as Everton. We are yet to understand where his priorities lie, but at least that interest has been registered from those different clubs. Then you look at still within that same composition. Of course, we all know about KDB, already a Napoli player as we speak. So those are some of the. Jack Grealish is one other player that is expected to leave Manchester City at 29 years of age. Still has 2 years left to his current contract with Manchester City, and yet, he has a whole lot of interest linking him to all sorts of places. Napoli, Bayer Leverkusen, back at home, teams like Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspurs, West Ham United, Everton are all interested in the 29-year-old England forward's services. So, but let's wait and see how, Pep Guardiola will go about doing business in terms of letting go of players. But it was in the 27th minute that Echeverry scored to make it 2-0, while a penalty in added time of the first half from Brad Erling Haaland ensured that Man City walked into halftime with a 3-0 lead. Then Ilkay Gundogan, like I said, scored a burst. So in the second half of the game, in that 73rd minute, he was back on target, while Oscar Bob and Ryan Cherki did complete the scoring. Meanwhile, Rodri there providing the assist, while Ryan Cherki the assist was provided by Brad Erling Haaland. Ryan Cherki scoring his first goal in a Manchester City jersey. He did not have the best of debuts. He sort of conceded possession multiple times in that game. Was it against Wydad Casablanca? Yes. So he didn't really look good for me overall, but yet yesterday was pretty active. The other game did end in a goalless draw. That was between Red Bull Salzburg up against Al Hilal. It ended in a goalless draw. And then, of course, later today, we do have Atletico Madrid up against Botafogo. That's at 10 p.m. East Africa time, while Paris Saint-Germain and Seattle Sounders will equally be in action. Then also previously, we did witness still Real Madrid beating up against Pachuca by 3-1. Real Madrid were down to 10 men by the 7th minute, following Raul Asensio's red card for tagging a last man, to deny a goal scoring opportunity. For me, the man of the match in that particular game was none other than Thibaut Courtois, because while Real Madrid were able to win this game by 3-1, I thought Pachuca had really so many goal scoring opportunities that they were created, but it took the heroics of Thibaut Courtois to keep Real Madrid in the game. Then, of course, the goals were scored by Jude Bellingham. He scored first, and then the other was Arda Güler that did score the second goal for Real Madrid, and then the third was scored by Federico Valverde. While Montel was the goal scorer for what turned out to be a mere consolation for the other side in Pachuca. Then earlier on, Juventus had beaten up against Wydad Casablanca by 4-1. Kenan Yildiz scoring the burst in that one, as well as Dusan Vlahovic with a penalty in sort of stoppage time, while Bartoli did score an own goal there to as Juventus beat up against Wydad Casablanca by 4-1. River Plate and Monterrey, that game ended in a goalless draw, while Fluminense and Uslan Hyundai, that game ended in a 4-2 victory for Fluminense. So quite very soon we should be heading into the final match day of the group stages. Those fixtures will be played around the same time, and not all of them, but for the different groups. So keep your eyes peeled to that. But yeah, all teams by now have played 2 games at least. All teams have played at least 2 games, and then so we're going to be looking towards the final games of the group stages, and that's why the game between Atletico Madrid and Botafogo, as well as that of PSG versus Seattle Sounders, will kick off at the same time. So that's why, because that's Group B, it will be concluding, and then we'll be giving you updates as of when the other fixtures will be going on. Then moving forward, let's quickly run to the transfer speculation. Apparently, Bayern Munich have registered interest in Arsenal winger Gabriel Martinelli. They do want to sign the 24-year-old Brazilian. However, their priority still remains with Nico Williams, even while knowing that Barcelona are leading the race to sign the 22-year-old Spanish winger. He has already agreed to personal terms with Barcelona and is waiting for the green light from his club to agree to terms with Barcelona before he makes the move. Now, Barcelona's financial situation makes it a little bit difficult for this deal to be completed as soon as they would have loved, because then they have finances to worry about, but also they have to wonder whether they will be able to register the player, again, due to finances and, you know, everything to do with the wage cap in La Liga. So they must assess that situation before they make, you know, the final move with Atletico Bilbao. Of course, the player has a release clause that is in the region of 58 million euros. I'm sure Barcelona will be looking to negotiate that, which may mean paying an increased fee for them to be able to pay that amount in installments. If they are to pay it in one lump sum, I mean, I have no guarantees that they can, because, like I said, their financial situation in recent times has not been at its best, to say the least. So let's wait and see what happens in that regard. But Bayern Munich will wait around and hope and praying and hoping that should Barcelona's financial troubles get the better of them, then they should be willing to sort of strike and woo away Nico Williams, who is of interest to Arsenal and Chelsea as well. Now, Barcelona are offering Nico Williams a gross wage of 12 million euros, yet Bayern Munich on the other side are willing to pay Nico Williams a net pay of 12 million euros. Now, apparently the player has preferred to join Barcelona as his team, as his dream team, and play alongside fellow countrymen like Lamine Yamal, Pau Kubasi, Pedri, Gavi, name it all the Spanish players in that Barcelona team. And yet, on the other side, if it is to boil down to how much money he gets to make, then definitely Bayern Munich could be one of the better moves that he can explore. And they will have to wait around and see if that's possible. While we're still speaking Bayern Munich, then why not throw in that jab also that they are interested in signing Jamie Gittens from Borussia Dortmund. Now, apparently, according to Kicker German, they are willing to pay up to 55 million pounds to sign the 20-year-old England winger, who has attracted interest from the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, among other suitors, although it is only Chelsea that had firmed up their interest with the bid prior to the kickoff of the FIFA Club World Cup. That's in the United States of America. They did make two bids, initially one of 35 million euros with 5 million euros in expected add-ons. That bid was quickly turned down, and they went back in with a deal with an offer of 45 million euros plus 5 million euros in expected add-ons to make a total package of 50 million euros. That was still turned down before the clubs went on for the FIFA Club World Cup. They will continue to negotiate on the future of the player, who had already agreed to personal terms with Chelsea on a 7-year contract in the aftermath of the FIFA Club World Cup. So let's wait and see how that development also transpires. Then Arsenal could back out of a deal for Benjamin Sesko, citing that the player is asking for very, very high wages, significantly higher than what they had expected. And then turn their attention to Plan B in Victor Gyökeres. The 27-year-old Piquel 1502. Piquel 1502. Hello, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from, Piquel? Good to have you on the channel. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So that's the situation. Now, again, I'm inclined to disqualify this news because of the kind of trend that I've observed in this pursuit for a striker for Arsenal. Every time you hear something about positive with Benjamin Sesko's camp in relation to Arsenal, then suddenly you hear something negative in relation to Victor Gyökeres. And yet we've been told time and again that Arsenal are pushing on two fronts. They are pushing at the front of Victor Gyökeres, 27-year-old Swedish striker, as well as the 22-year-old Slovenian forward, at RB Leipzig. Now, over time, you hear, for example, previously we had that Arsenal had initial talks with Benjamin Sesko and the player was keen on joining, and then suddenly we were hearing frustrations of Victor Gyökeres and his club in Sporting Lisbon. While we were still hanging on that, then apparently we got news that Arsenal had made a bid for Victor Gyökeres, and that was at the time when we were hearing that news that was negative from the side of RB Leipzig, suggesting that Arsenal were being priced out of a move for Benjamin Sesko, that they were unwilling to pay the fees that RB Leipzig were sticking to in regards to a transfer fee, which is a floating 80 to 100 million euros. So, okay, that's why I'm inclined not really to believe in this news, but it is out there that apparently Arsenal are growing frustrated and could back out of a move for the 22-year-old striker that they have been trying to sign since last summer. Then a move from Juventus for 25-year-old Manchester United forward in Jadon Sancho would depend on if Juventus go on to sign Francesco Conceição, who was on loan to Juventus from AFC Porto last season. So, but Napoli are the other team that are also interested in signing Jadon Sancho in as far as the Italian Serie A is concerned. The player has also interest from the likes of Aston Villa, from the likes of Newcastle, apparently in the English Premier League, among other teams. However, his wage demands could be off-putting to some of his potential suitors. Then, as far as Chelsea are concerned, Nicolas Jackson is not for sale despite interest from Saudi Arabia and Europe. Now, again, I think this has come in the wake of frustration because Nicolas Jackson did receive a red card in their 3-1 loss to Fluminense, in addition to receiving a red card in their 2-0 defeat to Newcastle at the tail end of last season in the Premier League. So that coupled together, people started suggesting that maybe Chelsea may consider letting go of Nicolas Jackson because of his sort of lack of discipline and not lack of individual discipline in the sense of societal discipline, but in the sense of football discipline, following his bad fouls that have led him to be sent off. In that game against Fluminense, he had been 3 minutes on the pitch before he got sent off. One touch, foul, straight red card. The referee didn't need to even think about it, really. And he sent him packing. So that bit of frustration, that bit of understanding is what has caused all the issues. These links are linking away Nicolas Jackson with a move from Chelsea. Then Liverpool have agreed a deal to sell Jarell Quasha to Bayer Leverkusen for £35 million, £30 million being the guaranteed fees, with apparently with the £5 million in expected add-ons. And apparently Liverpool have inserted in a buyback clause for the England centre-back. Excuse me. But let's wait and see. But it is true that Jarell Quasha will be moving to Bayer Leverkusen. That means Bayer Leverkusen have started already to spend on that cash that they are receiving from Liverpool for Florian Wirtz. Now, it got me thinking that if you sold a player for £100 million and then you're receiving Jarell Quasha, who is valued at £30 million, basically you're paying £70 million for Florian Wirtz. And then, of course, Liverpool will have to go back to the market and find a centre back. And indeed, they are interested in signing McKay from Crystal Palace because Ibrahim Konate is yet to renew his contract with Liverpool, only has 1 year left to it. Jarell Quasha is leaving. They are open to letting go of Joe Gomez and things of that nature. So that means they will need to sign a centre back, at least a centre back, or even two of them if they are to remain competitive. We do not know what will happen. Ibrahim Konate, Real Madrid are interested. And because Real Madrid are interested, they may want to sign him on a free transfer. And that means waiting for him and negotiate a pre-contract in January and say, look, yeah, don't sign a new contract. We guarantee that we are going to take him. January, we sign a pre-contract, or we agree to a pre-contract or a deal in principle, and then we come for you in the summer. That's out there. We wait to see. Atletico Madrid are interested in signing Andy Robertson from Liverpool. The 31-year-old Scotland international has attracted interest from Diego Simeone's camp, with Lucas Digne as their preferred alternative should they fail in their pursuit for Andy Robertson. Again, I'll make this argument again. I do not think it's wise for Liverpool to lose two wingbacks, to lose two fullbacks in the same transfer window. You've already lost Alexander Trent-Arnold. Yes, you got a fee for him, but too many changes are not always good. Now, just imagine, because Ibrahim Konate has a year left to his contract, you also lose Ibrahim Konate. That means you lose three members of your starting backline. Too many changes. While you make good in the midfield and going forward, the backline could become an issue for you, really, and you do not want that to happen. Then Manchester United have shown interest in signing. Manchester United have shown interest in signing Moises Kean from Fiorentina. Now, I know Manchester United are looking for a striker. Moises Kean is a good striker, but still only 24 years of age. But he has had a stint in the Premier League with Everton, and that stint did go down well. For those of you that do remember, when Everton was still under the charges of Carlo Ancelotti before he left to return to Real Madrid. £44.5 million, which is around 52 million euros, according to La Gazzetta dello Sport. Now, it could be. At this point, you never know who clubs are considering to sign, especially when it comes to strikers. Very few options in the market, and yet the interest is really, really overwhelming. When you look at almost all top clubs in the Premier League are literally looking for a striker. Chelsea are looking for another striker, even after getting Liam Delap, even bearing in mind that they have Nicholas Jackson. Arsenal are looking for a striker, maybe even two. Manchester United are looking for a striker. Liverpool are looking for a striker. They want to let go of Darwin Núñez, who is of interest to Napoli, and things of that regard, and things of that nature. So there is a lot of interest in those players. But let's keep our eyes out and see if it comes of any good. Meanwhile, Denmark, our defender, that's Andreas Christensen, 29 years of age, is expected to leave Barcelona. Anderson Deco, sorry, that's the sporting director was saying they have 5 centre backs, and that's one too many, and they may need to let go of one at least if they are to proceed in their efforts of squad building. So let's wait and see how that equally transpires. Then yeah, so basically that's the gist of the gossip as of this morning. But of course, there's always more to it. Again, Manchester United apparently are interested in signing Andre Runini. That's a Real Madrid substitute goalkeeper, and so I can see Ashley Cabrera. Yes, Ashley Cabrera. Good to have you back, Ashley. How are you doing? Good morning. How are you doing? I hope you've been well. Ashley Cabrera is one of those, you know, semi-usual suspects on this channel. So, like I was saying, Manchester United are being linked with the move for Andre Rooney. Yes, I can see. You say I'm back like two for your live streams. Yes, I do notice. I do take note. You're one of our semi-usual suspects. I think this is like the third or fourth time that I'm seeing you back on our channel. But thank you so much for the love and support. Thank you, really. I do appreciate that. Then, like I was saying, when you look at Manchester United, their interest in Andre Rooney is not wide of the mark, but any move for a goalkeeper for Manchester United, whether it is Emi Martinez from Aston Villa, or Marco Casenecchi, the 24-year-old Italian goalkeeper from Atlanta, or Andre Rooney of Real Madrid, will depend on movement for Andre Onana. If Andre Onana stays as he would love to stay, then Manchester United won't be making a move for a goalkeeper. Meanwhile, AS Monaco have made inquiries about a deal for Andre Onana. They are interested in signing the 29-year-old Cameroon goalkeeper. So let's wait and see. If there is movement for Andre Onana, then most definitely Manchester United will be looking for a goalkeeper to support Altay Bendia, and Tom Heaton was already extended his contract by a year at Manchester United. What time is it for you? It's 12 minutes past 9 a.m. in the morning. How about on your end, Ashley? I don't know. If I remember correctly, you had mentioned coming from, I think, the USA, although not what state particularly, but correct me if I'm wrong. So anyways, guys, that's in relation to Manchester United and their search for a goalkeeper, really. And the search for a goalkeeper. Of course, they remain keen on signing Bayern Munich. From, you say, for me, it's about 2:13 a.m. Oh, are you from Philippines? Ashley Cabrera, are you from Philippines? Kindly remind me, please. If you say it's about 2:13 a.m., wow. Should be the anyway. Anyways, good to know. Then PSG have no intentions of letting go of Bradley Barcola amid his interest from the likes of Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Liverpool have all been reported to be interested. So let's wait and see. Then Al Hilal have not given up on their pursuit for Theo Hernandez from AC Milan. They are confident that the player will give them the green light after a late night positive talks. Now, Al Hilal had already agreed terms to AC Milan, I think, to pay for Theo Hernandez for about 30 million euros, but the player had yet to give the green light, and I think they had yet to agree on personal terms, and that's what has delayed this deal. The agreement between the two clubs had come long before the kickoff of the FIFA Club World Cup, which was the intention of signing him, and of course beyond that tournament, but he didn't give the green light. Then Pogba is edging closer to a move to AC Monaco. There's still some final details left to iron out in, I think, on personal terms or contract terms, but he is edging closer to a move to AC Monaco, who have put a 2-year contract for the 32-year-old French international on table. Definitely gives him the opportunity to, go and play some football, and hopefully get someone back to the French national team in ahead of the FIFA World Cup that will be played in the United States of America. Then this is regarding Fabrizio. Sorry, this is regarding Crystal Palace's captain Mark Gay. Liverpool want to make a move for him. As soon as that deal gets done, then they will turn their attention to the Crystal Palace captain. Now, apparently, it has a couple of scenarios. One, the player may not want to leave unless he's a guaranteed starter at Liverpool. That's one. Two, he would want to see the remainder of his contract. He has only 1 year left to his contract. That means he gets to move as a free agent. But alternatively, Crystal Palace want to sell. I don't know what message you've sent, but it appears to be restricted, Ashley. Crystal Palace want to sell because they do not want to lose the player for free, and they do value the player at least £50 million plus for any suitors. Oh, your second message has been retracted again. I don't know. Here it says message retracted. I don't know what's happening on your end, Ashley, but I'm getting your message. What do you think my favorite soccer player is? I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me know if I'm right with that guess. But yeah, so meanwhile, Crystal Palace are looking to sign Diomande from Sporting Lisbon as a replacement for Mark Gay. So at least that's their hope. But they do want to cash in on Mark Gay amid this strong interest from the likes of Tottenham Hotspurs. Speaking of Tottenham Hotspurs, their player, it just means I deleted whatever I said. Okay. All right, Ashley, noted. So Tottenham Hotspurs, defender Christian Romero is attracting interest from Atletico Madrid. Now, Tottenham Hotspur for long, for the last two transfer windows, last summer and in January, have wanted to sign McGahey, although they were unsuccessful. Then Newcastle were the other team interested in signing McGahey, as well as Chelsea. So those two, keep your eyes out on those two amidst all this interest from Liverpool. So I gave the correct prediction for who your favorite player is. Interesting. Looks like at least I'm not off topic. I'm not off with all my guesses at the moment. Good to know. So anyways, that's to do with McGahey. We'll wait and see. Then I think Vok Szczesny has agreed to extend his contract to sign a 2-year contract until June 2027. For me, in the wake of having signed Joan Garcia from Espanyol, it begs the question of what the future then of Marc-André ter Stegen is at Barcelona. There's been interest apparently from Galatasaray, but let's wait and see if that deal can really go forward, because having 3 number 1 goalkeepers, I know Szczesny will be happy to, see it out on the bench and only feature in a couple of games here, cup games and etc. Because he knows where, although last season predominantly he was Barcelona's number 1 following that long-term injury to Andre ter Stegen. Remember, he was literally signed out of retirement. So, and now he's been given a 2-year contract extension, which could really work out well for the Polish goalkeeper. So let's wait and see how things move in that regard. Then Kenny Tete is on the verge of joining Everton as a free transfer, going to be handed a 3-year contract, having left pathways with Fulham. So there you have it. Anyways, that's how was your day? My day was great, Ashley. My day was great. I hope your night is okay. Hope your night is okay since it's already night. Then Franco Mastatuano, very good player, by the way, at Liverpool. Quite the scoop for Real Madrid. And then, of course, because Rodrigo Goes didn't get to start that game for Real Madrid against Pachuca last night, and I do not think he was even one of the substitutions and made or to be brought on. It sort of intensifies all the speculation, leading him with a move away from Real Madrid, with Arsenal the leading contenders. Apparently, Real Madrid are willing to do a deal if a fee of about £70 million plus is met. But let's wait and see. Arsenal are being slow in their moves. And Ben Jacobs has previously reported that the Gunners could be looking to expedite things or speed up things after July 1st. And this takes me back to what I've explained before, that some of these deals get delayed because of the period within which clubs want to do business, especially when it comes to a financial year. So, for example, if Arsenal look at their books and say, look, we made, let's say, £500 million this season, our expenses were in the excess of £320 million, then that means we have at least a profit margin of about 160 something million pounds. So instead of us going out there and buying players in June, why do we not wait and buy them in July and then write them as players bought in a new financial year, so that we keep a certain look of healthy reading on our books? You say some of my people that I subscribe to are live streaming. I watch them, but when they end, I go to different live stream, because before years I was at someone else's. Okay, that's interesting. But thank you so much for the love and support, Ashley Cabler. So with that bit of context, for some of your respective clubs, please understand why. Well, my night and my day from yesterday, any really. So for some of you that are already frustrated with your clubs for not signing players, for not doing business on time, I know Manchester United fans are sort of frustrated that they've only signed Matthias Cunha given all their transfer requirements. Could it be that Man United have something to tell you as well to things? Go ahead, please, Ashley. Go ahead. So if Jonas, hi Jonas. Jonas this is your second time on our broadcast. Good to have you back, Jonas. Welcome back to the channel. So if you're frustrated that your team, I know Man United fans are frustrated that they've only signed Matthias Cunha, whether it is a question that they ought to move on some players fast or that's not the case, it waits to be seen. But at least they do want to they want to bring in some players, although it means they need to do signings at the right fee, but also at the right time. Because like I said, if let's say your financial year ends on June 30th, and you know it's unhealthy for your books to record expenses in the name of signing players, then you can simply wait it and do it in January, because then you get to write that as expenses for a new financial year, which in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to PSR rules, financial fair play rules, then you're covered. So that could be a factor as to why certain clubs go and negotiate deals and then wait to do them at a later period. So all those are factors that you ought to bear in mind as you see out your respective teams. So my first thing is that I'm going to a concert before my birthday, and after the concert, a few days after July 31st is my birthday. Okay. I do not know how usually when we wishing you a happy birthday after it is happened, we say happy belated birthday. Now, maybe allow me say happy early birthday, because I'm not sure. I do not know whether you will be with us on July 31st for me to wish you a proper happy birthday, but we wish you the very best, really, in your celebrations. In any case, my birthday is up this month, before the month ends. So good to know that you're another media baby, and we do hope you age gracefully, and your new age may come with a new wisdom and blessings out from the Lord, if you are a believer. So, but thank you so much, guys, for being part of this morning's broadcast. Allow me to cut this one here and wish you a wonderful rest of the day. It's been a pleasure having you, Pico, as well as Ashley Cabrera. Thank you so much for the time you dedicated to be with us. Thank you so much, Jonas, for chipping in, and all those that managed to join us, that didn't comment on the broadcast, and those that watch our broadcast much later after they've been aired. I would not take your time for granted, so thank you so much as well. I will look forward to seeing you later, either around lunchtime or slightly above there. We could look to doing the broadcast. It will depend on what news is out there that is worth talking about in the course of the day. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure having you here for this morning's broadcast. But before I sign out, let me let you know about Arsenal eyeing a move for Sevilla's Lucien Aguirre to bolster their midfield should Thomas Partey leave. Now, of course, the contract talks with the 32-year-old, I have 3 subscribers by YouTube channel. It's not a lot, but it's good. Okay, congratulations. I know what even those 3 mean in the work of starting the YouTube channel. But like I said, Arsenal's contract talks with Thomas Partey have not yet made headway. They've sort of stalled. They sent out an offer to his agent. No response yet, according to reports. The Ghanaian would want to stay, although he wants an improvement on his wages, which the club are not willing to budge on, and things of that regard. And then maybe could be a sticking point that Arsenal are offering a 1-year contract extension with an option for a further year, and yet the player is reportedly wants a flat-out 2-year contract. So again, let's wait and see how that really comes about. Then, so that's why there's a reported interest in the 23-year-old Lucien Agüeme, who only joined Sevilla last summer from. So that's why there's a lot of interest in Lucien Agüeme. So as a potential replacement for Thomas Partey, he only joined Sevilla last summer from Inter Milan in a deal that wasn't too expensive. He had been at Inter Milan for quite some time, I think since 2019, but yeah, let's wait and see. In just a bit of how that really comes about. Ashley, you say I'll probably watch your live stream before my birthday party, because my birthday party is a few days after my. Okay, then okay, I read that. I just had a ding. I do not know who's from the stream or from my room, because I have a tablet that does the exact same thing. Okay. Anyways, it's been good to have you. Have yourselves a blessed day and a blessed new week ahead. It's always a pleasure to have you. Bye-bye. Let's meet later today and discuss more sports.